Tonight on Elon Local News.
Honoring the life of Jackson Yell, we spoke to some of Jackson's friends about the ways they're carrying on his legacy.
Plus, one Elon representative is making a special announcement live with us tonight.
And one cherished Alamance County tradition is spinning once again.
Those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our last Elon Local News of the semester. I'm Ellis Chandler.
And I'm Annemarie Bonner. Over the last week, the campus community has been honoring the life of Jackson Yell. The memorial visitation arrangements for Jackson are this Friday and Saturday in Orleans, Massachusetts. He died in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, while on a weekend trip with the club baseball team. Jackson was 21 years old. To carry on his legacy, many of his closest friends got tattoos for him. I talked to two of his friends who say Jackson was full of life.
He lived life with just this love for life, this no regret attitude, just not really worrying about himself ever.
Garrett Fitchin is a junior on Elon's club baseball team who is close friends with Jackson. He got a tattoo to remember him with the dragonfly and the quote, "This is the life," something Jackson said while in Myrtle Beach.
At one point he goes up to my neighbor, his name is Andrew Mack, puts his arm around him and says, "Man, like, this is the life. It doesn't get much better than this." And although he said it in that moment, that's kind of, like I said before, that's kind of how Jackson lived his life.
Stephanie Abazia was Jackson's neighbor at Elon and close friend. She remembers seeing him being the highlight of her day.
There's words that are just like not in this world or vocabulary that could describe him, honestly. I just met him moving in this year, and he was just always so happy, always such a happy guy, never sad, always looking for the positives in anything, always telling me not to worry, always just there and just so great.
One thing that will always remind her of Jackson is a dragonfly. After talking to his sister, she learned that dragonflies meant a lot to them.
Sitting outside at his tree, and I was just with a few of the guys, and we noticed a huge dragonfly land on Jackson's sweatshirt that was sitting in front of the tree. And I had told Jackson's sister about it, and that I saw one there, and I said, like, if you ever need to know that someone's thinking about him, just know that if you look at a dragonfly, I'll be thinking of him, because that's what really made me think, like, I believe in signs, and I saw the dragonfly and felt like maybe that could have been him.
Fitchin wants people to know that Jackson's legacy will live on forever.
He was bigger than a day of mourning, a week of mourning, and we're going home, even a summer of mourning. So just, I want everyone to know that, especially his close friends and club baseball in general, like, this won't be the last, like, we're talking about him, and this won't be the last of sharing moments about him, because although it's fresh and it's new, Jackson was so much bigger than that, and he'll live on so much longer than that.
If you want to support the Yell family, members of Club Baseball made a GoFundMe page. Over $40,000 has been raised so far.
Memorial services are arranged for former Elon University trustee Jack Lindley, who died Friday. Lindley served 17 years as a trustee and 5 as trustee emeritus. Lindley and his wife Dorothy contributed to the construction of the Corey Business Center, Alumni Fieldhouse, Belk Library, and Jimmy Powell Tennis Center. The family will receive visitors at noon tomorrow at Rich and Thompson Funeral Home in Burlington, with a celebration of life at 2 p.m. in the funeral home's chapel. Lindley was 88 years old.
In light of Jackson's death, a pedestrian collision in the town of Elon, and heavy foot traffic late at night, students are being mindful of street safety. Town of Elon Assistant Police Chief James Turney says intersections by the train tracks are particularly busy and students must be on guard. He says drivers can't assume that pedestrians are paying attention and vice versa. He says this neglect on the road poses a serious risk.
A driver in a car, for instance, they're protected with airbags and, just safety features of the vehicle, where the pedestrian doesn't have any of those protections, and it's usually bad if they get hit by a car, even at low speed.
Attorney's advice to stay safe is wait for the walk signal, even if you are in a rush, and look both ways before you cross the street.
As North Carolina politicians begin to announce their bids for 2023 and 2024 elections, one Elon representative is looking to announce his here tonight. Joining us in just a second is Elon Town Councilman Quinn Ray. Quinn, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. Hello.
Hello.
So can you just start by describing for us what town council is and what your role is currently as a town council member?
Sure. So when I first got elected, we were currently the Board of Aldermen, and we have switched it to town council to try to help with that process. But town council really it's a nonpartisan position, and it maintains, the biggest role is making sure we're good stewards of the tax dollars, making sure public services are well taken care of, and as in roads and sidewalks and our water and sewer, things of that nature.
Gotcha. And I know when you first mentioned coming on tonight and we were getting you here, you were talking about how you wanted to make this re-election campaign more of like a county and statewide one. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I believe Elon has the potential to be a shining example of a community built on collaboration, innovation, and mutual respect, where everybody has the opportunity to thrive and succeed. So over the past 4 years with me on the board, we have definitely pushed initiative to improve our infrastructure, improve our public services, revitalize our downtown, even survive a pandemic, right? And also prioritizing a welcoming and sustainable community.
Thank you for sharing that. And what do you hope to achieve if you are reelected?
Well, I want to continue what I've built and push forward that Elon can be an example to the state and to other college towns, right? That we are a place where everybody is welcomed, that everybody has their needs and interests as residents met, where it's not just a place where people live, where people want to come, where people want to raise a family, and where people want to work.
And the next town council meeting is tomorrow night, and I know there's something pretty big on the agenda, but could you tell us a little more about what to expect tomorrow?
Sure. So tomorrow is our budget meeting. So that is where our town manager has released the budget to the town council and to the public, so we can go over it and just nitpick everything our manager did, but make sure that our tax dollars are spent properly, adequately, and again, we're good stewards of everybody's money.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Quinn Ray, thank you for joining us again. And the town council race is a nonpartisan one. Candidates have until July 7th to file their bids for re-election. And another former Phoenix is headed to try out for an NFL team. The Dallas Cowboys invited football alumnus Matthew McKay to rookie minicamp, according to an Instagram announcement on McKay's page. McKay threw 21 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions in 2022. He also rushed for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Elon University women's track and field team is victorious again. The team is now a 3-time consecutive Colonial Athletic Association championship winner. It scored 185 total points at the meet. Graduate student Kaliana Botello says her teammates' drive makes the win extra meaningful.
The fact that those girls are so hardworking and their drive, and it's like they really care about the sport and how much love they have for it, just made everything so exciting.
The Phoenix won by 61 points, which is the largest margin of victory at the CAA Championship since 2003. The Phoenix are also the first team to win 3 straight CAA championships since 2010.
Coming up, one Elon student artist now has her work featured in a popular spot on campus. What she hopes for her art will do ahead.
You're watching Elon Local News.
And one familiar face who works behind the camera is stepping away from our studios. Elon's chief engineer, Jeff James, is retiring after 22 years in the role. James has worked at Elon as a broadcast engineer around various parts of campus since 1995. He's the first engineer Elon had. He's worked on many projects like building the control room in the Schar Center and rebuilding the control rooms here in our studios. James says what's been most rewarding about his role is helping train student engineers.
Hired student engineers, and a lot of them have gone into engineering now. I've got there's at least 2 or 3 guys that work on these big production trucks and all that kind of thing. So that's what's really been nice to see.
Since he was an undergraduate student at Elon, and for transparency, Brenner does work at Elon News Network as a video production engineer. He says he owes his engineering career to James.
A career is because of him. You know, I originally didn't come here wanting to get into broadcast, and it wasn't until working as a student engineer with him throughout my 4 years at college that made me want to pursue this as a full-time opportunity.
He's relied on James a lot around the studios, and his knowledge and presence will be missed, and we'll surely miss him next year as well.
One Elon student and her business are painting their mark around campus. Elon Jr. Shreya Baru runs her own business called Radiant Universe. She hand paints accessories and decorations in a unique version of mandala. It's a style of work originating from her home country of India. Baru's work was recently installed on the back patio of the Mosley Student Center near Arazu and Winter Garden. Director of Elon Interiors, Holly Hodge, discovered her work at an on-campus event. Baru says the installation is a major turning point for her business.
They're like, did you paint the Winter Garden logo thing? Oh my God, I love it. It's so beautiful. I want one for my room. I got so many custom orders after that, after this installation. So it's pretty much life-changing, actually.
You see this painting here, this actually says peace in it, but actually there's an e-painting competition.
This organization supporting student business owners and vendors. It can be found at various on-campus events. Students can place custom orders by messaging Radiant Universe 2022 on Instagram. Spring festivities are really picking up, and it seems like the weather is too.
I know. Our Margaret Faust is live under the Oaks tonight with a finals week forecast.
Margaret, good evening to you.
Annemarie, it was a hot day and it's going to be another hot week. Let's take a look at your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Temperatures are going to be in the high 80s tomorrow. They're going to level out a little bit during the week with some clouds in the sky and then peak again on Saturday, making for a lovely final weekend here at Elon. When we have hot temperatures like this, it's all about protecting yourself. Protect your skin by wearing sunscreen, protect your eyes by wearing sunglasses, and protect your health by staying hydrated. For one final time, I am Margaret Faust with your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Ellis and Annemarie, back to you.
Margaret Faust for the last time. Thank you so much.
A Burlington landmark is back up and running with a festival to celebrate its return.
And after the break, hear how one Elon freshman started an organization to help end domestic abuse.
You're watching Elon Local News.
According to the National Domestic Abuse Hotline, 58% of college-age students say they don't know how to help someone struggling with domestic violence. But nearly 29% of college-age women say they've been in an abusive relationship. Those numbers are why freshman Tori Whetstone started her nonprofit, Us Stopping Abuse, with her mom. Whetstone's parents have been married for 35 years. She says she has seen nothing but healthy love from them, but she says even those who don't have a personal connection should care.
If you have a personal story or know somebody, it's so important to see something that is so prevalent and see something that's so damaging and try even a little step is a big step. So doing your part, whether it is to be informed on it, to educate on it, to be a friend and a bystander to the people that are going through it.
On their social media pages, they share facts about domestic violence. One day, Whetstone says she hopes her organization can help put an end to domestic abuse.
What's been a construction site for the past 3 years at City Park became an area full of music, arts and crafts, and people over the weekend. It's all to celebrate a Burlington landmark that's over 100 years old. After more than 3 years of being closed, the Denzel Carousel in Burlington is spinning once again. It's been open since the fall, but the annual festival hasn't been held since 2019. Hundreds of people attended this year's event, including 10-year-old Carter Leslie. He says he rode the carousel before when he was little, but his favorite time riding was this one.
It was where I got to ride the tiger and when it started spinning and the music. Taylor Harrington was brought on to help create a live mural for the Carousel Festival. She works as a chalk artist around the state. Harrington drew carousel animals and a train and says the project took her about 9 hours to complete.
I love doing stuff to the scale. It takes a lot out on me, but like it's so much fun to do something really big because people can just stand and kind of like walk around it and kind of look at it at all angles. So it's a lot of fun to do really, really big projects.
The event was also full of volunteers like Sophia Soto. She goes to Southern Alamance High School and says she loves watching people have fun.
I love seeing a community bond. I have a really close community at my school and we do events like this. So coming out and seeing people from my school and then from the community as a whole come out just really like warms my heart.
City of Burlington Special Events Director Sean Echeverria says he spent most of the festival making sure the event ran smoothly. He says he's happy the festival returns because it brought a sense of community to the city.
I think you see folks from all walks of life here, all interacting, all in one big melting pot, and I think that we need things like this to have that sense of community. I think it's great. I know the carousel means a lot to the people of Burlington and Alamance County.
The festival is usually held in September, but this year it was held in May due to all the delays with reconstruction. This was the 32nd annual Carousel Festival.
With graduation 1 week underway and the last day of classes tomorrow, we spoke to some seniors about how they're feeling on their final days on campus.
Built like a really beautiful life here, filled with like friends and music and learning, and I'm really grateful for everything.
9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. on May 19th in Shore Center.
So it's just going to be hard to go home and miss that, but I'm a little scared, a little nervous, but I'm very grateful for Elon for like bringing me my people.
And coming up finally tonight, the Elon's undergraduate commencement ceremonies are set for 9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. on May 19th in Shore Center. And coming up, we'll take a look back at our year in review and say farewell to our seniors.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Hi, I'm Rich Landsberg. I'm one of the advisors, along with Kelly Furness, to Elon News Network. Elon News Network exists for you, our viewers and readers. We work for you. We don't work for awards. But if you'll permit us some self-indulgence, once a year, we like to recognize the graduating seniors who have poured so much into Elon News Network in print, broadcast, and online. Madeline Howard, you've been a copy chief, and you've been heavily involved in production of The Pendulum and our political coverage. We appreciate everything you've done for us these years. Claire Grant. Claire Grant is going to be at the Indianapolis Star in Indiana, where you'll be taking photographs, much like you did here at Elon, only for a somewhat bigger audience, I think. You know, you've come a long way from that tentative first-year student that I saw to this confident ace photographer that you are now. And along the way, you've reported, you've directed, you've even anchored our Wednesday show. And you've done so much more. Thank you for everything. Annemarie Bonner. Annemarie, just off the anchor desk. We saw her just not too long ago. Where you've been a lot of times. You're going to be at WBAL in Baltimore, where you're going to be doing investigative journalism, which we're really proud of you for that. I've known you the whole time you've been here, and that's a long time. You've grown so much. You've become a true utility reporter. You've reported some very important stories, and you anchored some of our most difficult newscasts. And you're someone who we will all greatly miss. Margaret Faust. There you are, Margaret. You're just kind of hiding. Margaret, you are looking for a career in public radio, and someone is going to be very lucky to hire you, and that will be coming real soon. You're another one of our great all-around journalists. You've anchored this program. You've reported on major stories that are important to our community, including in-depth looks at the local school board, which is not covered very often, but you did it. You found your passion, and it's radio journalism, and I can't wait to hear you on the air. Naya Pinksidi, did I actually pronounce your name anywhere close to correct, which I never do? I'm so sorry. But I love you anyhow because you're going to be a reporter for Bloomberg Law in D.C., and there's nothing that you can't do. You devoted most of your time here to our newspaper, The Pendulum. You were the editor-in-chief. You've also been a designer or a reporter for print, online, and broadcast. Some great broadcast stories, despite protesting that you didn't want to do it for so long. You were just really good at it. And you even anchored the Wednesday show, and our only regret about you and I is that we're not able to clone you.
That is true.
Good all around. Miranda Ferrante, you're going to grad school at NYU for magazine and digital storytelling. You worked hard and you oozed passion for journalism. You're tough, you're unafraid to tackle hard subjects, but you're also kind and empathetic, and NYU won't know what hit them. Ellis Chandler, also on the desk today, as you were for so many times in the past. You've been a part of ENN since you started in February of 2020, which we call the before times, of course. You stuck through it, through the COVID shutdown and beyond. You were reporting during that time, even though you were new here. You helped lead the organization past the pandemic, and you've done it all. Producing, anchoring, reporting, directing, and much more. You're going to be at WYFF in Greenville, South Carolina, and they are lucky to have you. And last, but certainly not least, my friend, Kira O'Connor. You have been the executive director of ENN for 2 consecutive years, and that's the first time any person has ever done that. You led the organization through major changes at the university, as well as keeping our community informed through COVID. Your leadership helped to get us where we are today. So thank you all very much. Congratulations to everyone graduating in a couple of weeks. And also congratulations to Kelly Furness, our other advisor. We'll miss you. Our world is in good hands with these Elon grads.
Thank you. Well, and that's all the news we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For stories, scores, and more, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And follow us on social media at SportsENN and an Elon News Network.
Elon Community, and we thank you so much for your time tonight. Good luck on finals, and have a great rest of your semester, Elon. It's been a pleasure.